Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of the Shrek through of Dark Souls 2. So Donkeh, first of all, of course, but second of all, we did some research, or I did some research to figure out where it is that we need to go to get these binoculars. They're kind of important to our progress. So we are in Majula. As you can see, there's that tree in the background with the weird flapping bit of cloth on it, just to give you a bit of perspective, so you can find these yourself, because they are kind of important. It wasn't very hard to find, honestly. As I walked out of this cave, this is where the tutorial area is. We walk through, there's the big reveal, and you'll probably notice if you're looking fairly carefully off of this ledge that there's actually a blue sparkly down there. So, you know, it would kind of go together to think maybe where might you get down to such a ledge such as that. Well, let's see what our options are. First, we've got this one up here. Do a little bit of camera panning. Pretty quickly you'll come to the conclusion that that is definitely death. Weird also how the water doesn't seem to, like, wash into waves up against the rocks. But then again, I guess there's only so much you can do with the shaders here. And then second, we have this path, which seems much more likely to be something, considering the path emanates from that direction. And then we can basically just drop down here. I didn't even take any fall damage for once, which is fantastic. And now is a little trickier one. We need to get up to that smaller path below. So let's try and edge our way through here, and then we'll just slide down the wall. There is a dude behind us, gives us a Morning Star and a Cleric's Sacred Chime, which would be great if I was a cleric. I am not, but, you know, I'm not against using miracles. I suppose we could try those out as well. There's a miracle dealer pretty soon, and there's our Binos, which come up with a sword icon, strangely enough. I guess in my case it will be sort of like a weapon, but for most cases, well, you know, sight could be a weapon. I don't think that would be the case for a melee user, though. So that's mission 1 accomplished. We now have the binos. We could actually pop those on... I don't know how this exactly works. I guess I would want them on, like, my main hand or something, because they count as a weapon now, instead of a usable, consumable type item. Now if I... oh yeah, I do like this. Let's just want to... maybe I want to shoot at... oh yeah, alright, so it just goes at the center of the screen, wherever that might be. And that's pretty useful for me. I really like that. So, we're going to rest, we're going to travel, we're going to go back to the fire tower, and then we're going to go see if we can destroy the Dragon Rider without even getting in his way. So he doesn't even know what to do about me. He's just going to flip out and probably just give up. It shouldn't take that many shots, provided I do this properly. If that even works, there is a chance that they might just be like, nope, can't do that. Oh, I can freaking see him from this the bonfire here. So I guess we'll just do it right here. I was going to try and fight some dudes, but this will actually save me a few shots. So we're going to have to line up. We're going to have to make a fake crosshair in the center of the screen, and I'll channel all of my Call of Duty essence to see if we can... Let's do a test shot with one of the soul arrows and see if this targets. That's a little bit off, so we want to move a little to the right. Maybe the distance is too far for me. That might be possibly true. Yeah, alright, maybe that is actually the way that's gonna go, so I might need to get closer. It looks really close, though, doesn't it? Like, that's almost right there, but it just kind of fizzles out just slightly too early. Alright, so we'll try it from a better vantage point. I imagine that shouldn't be too crazy to pull off. I think when we get up to that bridge up above here, that might actually be reasonable to do. How am I gonna fight this guy, though? I gotta get this guy out of the way first. Actually, I have to get both of them out of the way, I think. Otherwise, I'm going to be in a bit of a troubled spot when I try to fight them with my spells. Yeah, this is a little iffy. I wonder if I'm going to have enough spells, though, to be able to actually take care of this dude. Oh, God. Just roll into this little bunker, I suppose. This is our bunker for now. Yeah, when you get tired of fighting me, you turn around, I'll be ready. Go ahead and leave. Go ahead and turn. Yeah, that's right. You think you're so tough. Oh, maybe you don't really. Well, there are still some obstacles standing in our way, obviously. This is going to be one of them. If I really wanted to, I could try and fake this guy out and have him attack me and maybe just fall off a cliff, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen right now. Oh my goodness, come on. I'm going to ask this... Really? We just keep wasting more? That, thankfully, did not seem to hit his shield, even though it looked like it did. Alright, so he's gone. You'll have to pardon the fact that I'm, like, doing everything in my power to cheese a boss without even trying to really fight him properly. You know, I might be able to pull it off, but I think this will probably be a lot more entertaining to see if it's even possible. I'm just kind of curious from maybe the speedrunner's perspective if this is a thing that can even be done. Like, this guy I would probably want to try and cheese. Wait, is he even going to fight me if I just... Yeah, I think he might just stand. Although when I start shooting spells at the other guy, that might piss him off. Oh, you got a weird foot there for a second. Alright, well, it's done with that. Let's see if we can hit him from here, though. I've used 11 of my soul arrows just trying to hit the other guy. Oh, really? That was a dead-on shot, too. Darn. Alright, I guess they'd thought of this. Didn't want to make it too boring, huh? It might be, like, fractions of an inch away from his armor, but, it's not going to happen, I suppose. Well, that means that I guess the strategy is going to go out the window. Unless there's another way that I can get closer. I guess the only way to get closer is with Big Red, obviously. Long-lasting freshness with Big Red. Let's shoot this guy with spells. I just want to test out if that little ledge that he provides... Oh, roll, please. Roll, please. See if this little ledge that he provides might give us that little bit of a distance to close the gap. Might also be useful, even if I could just get a bunch of shots in on him and then go in and finish him off melee style, but I don't know how this is going to work. Alright, come on now. Like, I haven't been very, you know, emphasizing melee attacks, obviously. It's just not that type of character. I don't think that it's a useful thing, necessarily. Well, it may be useful in some certain contexts, but for the most part, I think this is going to work just fine. As long as I can make it work, anyway. Alright, you attack, I'll roll out of the way. That's our agreement. Why don't we live by this pact? There we go. And there you go. That's the end of you. What'd you drop? Probably another piece of armor or a cracked... Oh, Old Knight Gauntlets. So now we have the helm and the gauntlets. He would be a heavily armored mage. Oh, you know what? This pillar is exactly in the way. Probably for this exact reason that I just was describing. For scums like me that try to game the system. Oh, I wonder if there's like a specific spot I could get an angle on him. I don't think so. Yeah, it's got to be straight. Oh, maybe I could hit his hand from here. This is really good. That was pretty close. You have to admit. Oh, that totally hit him. Such garbage. I can't tell the perspective on if I'm that close or not. You'd think that would hit. Well, I'm moving it over by a pixel each time, so I'm not sure why I'm bothering to do that, but... Anyway, oh, let's do our... Oh, no, I missed. Come on, Shrek. I know you're a heavy ogre, but I've seen you parkour before. Oh, you don't do the flip? My other guy does the flip when he goes over that railing. It always looks freaking awesome. It's like he's doing a running flip off of the edge of that. He's trying to be a professional parkour master or something, and then this guy... Well, I don't know, maybe he's just a little bit too undead and disgruntled to care about doing front flips off of railings. But, you know, that's probably one of the first things I would consider doing if I was in the world of Dark Souls. I would find some way to fashion some sweet, like, electric, magic-driven plasma rollerblades to my feet, and then I would just grind everything. I would do 900s, fly through the air like a hawk of the Tony variety. It would be a really fun time. I think everybody would love it. It's too bad that there's not, like, a more advanced movement system in Dark Souls. There's actually some, you know, parkour runs would be really, really fun in this game. There's some strange environments that I think would benefit from being run through really quickly in interesting and unconventional ways. Give me some Ninja Gaiden strats. Maybe I want to wall run for a minute. Maybe I want to do some backflips and climb up walls like a crazy person. You never know. Maybe that's a reasonable request. Right? I think it is. Yeah, see, I went for a roll there, but instead of a roll, I got a jump, which is totally my own fault, because I'm not using the buttons that were given to me. I had the option of switching over to L3. I just still chose to go with the BB setup. It does not seem to be paying off right now. If only I could somehow cheese this guy into getting a little bit closer. I wonder if I could shoot an arrow at him. I'm guessing arrows probably are governed by about the same distance until you get the hawk ring. But, actually, I think I actually know where to get the hawk ring, so if I wanted to be a crazy person, maybe I could even do that. Now I'm going through, like, some crazy gymnastics to try and come up with ways to cheese the game. But it is in my nature, I suppose, to come up with ways to do things like this. Unable to use the item effectively. What did I need? Oh, it said 12 something. 12 dex. Alright, so that's a few levels off. It's actually not far. It's 3, yeah. So what happens if I try to use this without proper dex? Oh yeah, he's just flips. Oh, I don't have any arrows on. That's probably why that's a problem. Wooden arrows, that's why I grabbed some of those. Alright, it looks like I can use it at least. Now what happens if I just shoot him once? Is it going to reach? My bet's on no. 3, 2, 1, go! And, the little flame thing went off, saving in the top corner of the screen. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know it means it's saving, but, like, why it did that, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like the arrow even just fizzles by that distance. But it definitely looks like it goes further than the magic does, so why don't we try that strategy next? Because if I could just get him pissed off and get him to walk around a little bit, that might be enough. That I might be able to hit him with a couple of things. But that means I've got to do this again, which is kind of unfortunate. Why don't you attack, and I'll just get out of the way for a minute. And that'll let you not have your shield up, which is what I'm after. 3. Alright, let's go for another. Please, knight, may I have another? And 4. Okay, he's about ready to blast me again. Let's, do a little bit of one of these. And he's off guard. This one should do it. Alright, cool. I don't know why I was so apprehensive about getting in his face a little bit. I mean, basically the whole way these guys work is you just walk up to them, they start on their predetermined scripted attack sequence, and from there you're pretty much safe. As long as you're out of the way, of course. If you're not out of the way, which you usually wouldn't be considering you're trying to melee them. That's where the accidents happen, is when you're way too close. Yeah, you're going to pace around. Let's see if this is the edge that we need. Alright, let's give it a shot here. I wonder if I could set this up as a reticle, too. Oh yeah, totally hits him. Doesn't do any damage, though, as far as I can tell. Unless maybe iron arrows are necessary. Maybe his armor is too strong. It's entirely possible. I've encountered enemies before that were invulnerable to certain attacks, but it also may be that he's just... he is just invulnerable when he's in that spot. I would not be surprised if that's the case, just to make him a little bit more of a worthy foe. How do I get this guy to go off the cliff, then? That's my next question. I guess I would get right in his face, try and lure him over to a side, and then roll out of the way just when he's on his like, rush forward. Let's call him a lush. And maybe he's got an Estus drinking problem or something, I'm not sure. I haven't actually ever seen him pop an Estus personally. So let's observe his movements for a moment here. That would be a thing we could try to take advantage of, what he just did there. That thrust move. Alright, next he's going to do a 3 swipe. Oh, and I'm just going to roll right off the edge. I actually knew that was happening. I totally knew it. As soon as I started to do that roll maneuver, that was where that was going. Alright, so I think the next move then is let's just screw the cheesing him idea, and we'll just finish off this pit. Whatever that takes, I think it's just going to require me to kill a couple more guys. No biggie. I've done it before. I'll do it again. This episode's feeling a little grindy, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Shrek's probably getting a little bit antsy, as he does. You know, having no donkeys to talk about or talk to. You know, he says it all the time, that he's like, Donkey, shut up! And then, in reality, he's friends with Donkey, you know? It's in his nature to be grumpy. He's kind of a grumpster. He hangs out in a swamp, but I think the reality is that he just doesn't want to let on that Donkey's really his best friend in the world, and he would do anything for Donkey in the end of the day. Here we go. So I think that'll just be our little secret between you and me. Yeah, alright. That's how that's gonna go. I tried to roll, but my attack sequence was still going for another moment or two. A little too much... a moment or two long, if you ask me. Alright, loading screen. Here we go. Great sword. There's a thing I'm never going to wield with this character. It'd be sweet if it was like, hey, we see you picked a mage. Let's tailor these tooltips to things that maybe would be relevant to your life. Well, not that that's necessarily expected to be, because you never know. You can make a hybridized class out of pretty much whatever you want. There's no reason you have to be a mage that only uses magic, right? I mean, you could just as easily blend the melee element back into things as it was potentially going to consider doing with my other character. I've actually been making an effort to level up some of my magic spellcasting stuff on... Oh yeah, this is where the switch appears, right? On my main character, my non-Let's Play character, you're really gonna do this, huh? You're really that big of a punk that you need to come up here and chase me down. Why don't you just fall off this ledge, then? How's that sound? You gonna do that? No? You're not gonna do that. Well, you are a jerk among jerks, then. I guess we'll shoot you with stuff. Might as well just take it easy, then. We'll just do this one thing at a time. I don't know where the water is here. I just keep getting ready to throw myself off a ledge or something. That's not how best Shrekitude is displayed. Alright, get out of the way. That sword is a big problem for me. It's a big problem for everyone, honestly. It's a big old sword. Get that out of the way. I'm gonna need these soul arrows, but I think for now, let's just concentrate. Oh my god, what even hit me? I don't even know what hit me there. I didn't see the sword. I guess it swung, though. I turned around. My own bad, my own fault. Yeah, we're gonna have to take this one guy at a time again. That's annoying. See, this is where the fatigue comes in. I know this is still super early, and I'm not actually salty about this, but I'm just sort of seeing this as an endemic issue with the game, in my opinion. Maybe issue's the wrong word, but a thing that bugs me on occasion, maybe, is that I keep finding these scenarios where you run into, like, 10 or 20 big, heavy metal armored whatevers. And, oh, almost went off the ledge again. And every single time you die by one of them, you have to come back and fight all of them again. And I know that they sort of fixed that by having to only fight them like 10 to 15 times before they just despawn forever. But that part between the first time you fight them and die to the 10th time is arduous sometimes. And it's nice to know that eventually it ends, but that can drag on a bit. And it's nice to also be able to get all the experience from them, but it can be frustrating too, as I'm sure you can imagine, having to just fight these same guys. And the process for them when you're a melee class is to, like, walk up to them, dodge them, stand behind them, let them swing. You have to keep allowing them all this time, right? You don't ever get this situation where you're, like, ever so OP, I mean, until, like, the end of the game. You generally don't get this situation where you're so OP that it's like you're just pretty much good to go. You just run around and just destroy them. At least I don't, because I'm also not that amazing at the game. So, you know, I should probably hold my tongue, because I'm already welcoming the criticisms in the comments that I'm not necessarily really meaning to welcome. I understand that I'm not the best at things, and that's totally fine. Okay, we're gonna shoot his shield, I suppose. How do I trigger these guys to attack when there's two of them? Well, let's get them standing right next to this edge, first of all, and then we'll do one of these guys, and see if one of them decides to gallivant off the ledge. Doesn't seem to be the case today. Oh, wait. Yep, it was. Alright, one of them went off. And round 2 with this guy. Well, just when you're fighting one is like a million times easier than both at the same time. And if we get this guy down, then it's going to be much easier to take on the swordsman downstairs. Yeah, let's just roll backward. Not much danger of falling off in this spot. A big ol' arena here to fight in. Should be helpful. Oh, is this... what armor is this? Cracked blue eye orb. Not the best armor. So I shouldn't have fought it. I should have really just embraced the levers from the very beginning. And is this... I still can't remember if I did 2 or 3, or if there's another one or what. That looks like it filled up the whole arena, actually, so maybe I'm just good to go now. Can't see the edge from here. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much good. I also don't remember if there was even room for a lever down here. I guess I could just kill him and see if something happens. That's kind of another way to approach it. So many buildings off in the distance, but they're all, like, exactly the same. That makes me so sad. Do you see how, like, see that, like, sort of phallic-shaped door frame off that's, like, directly above my character's head right now? And then, like, look at that, and then look at it again right there. I'm using my character's head as a reticle to point things out to you. And look at it again in the one behind it, back there. And then again over here. It's like, alright, I mean, I know you only have so much RAM to work with, but it's like, it's so pretty on the surface until you take a minute to appreciate the detail and realize it's kind of duplicated a bunch of times. Yeah, I don't see any lever spot for this area, so I think we're good. I mean, I thought we were good beforehand, but I also don't have any great soul arrows now, which is a bad thing. I guess I could just go in here and die. really doesn't matter. Once I have the levers up, they're up. I don't have to do it ever again. Probably a good thing to do, just a matter of common practice for not rolling off or being dumb when I'm just wandering about, because I would have a tendency to just leap off of things. Alright, what's this guy's deal? That's a good moment. Alright, we'll get a shot in there. Let's just bait him into attacking once, and roll, and then we'll do a shot. Maybe two. That one hit his shield. Do another roll. As long as I don't roll my way right off the world, I think we're going to be okay. So he actually is keeping more distance than I suspected he might. That's a big ol' attack. This third one might... Oh, no, he didn't do the third. I think there's a rush attack, which is the thing that I'm worried about. Something like that, but it can come sort of out of nowhere at times. He's surprisingly weak to magic. I would have thought this guy would be a little better armored for that sort of thing, since he deals with dragons all the time, and fire, and, you know, whatever it is that dragon people deal with. You think I would know, considering I hang out with a donkey all the time, and he's, like, basically shacked up with a dragon himself. But, you know, there's certain things we don't talk about. The physiology of donkeys and dragons and how that all goes together is one of those such things, and being that we're of the ogre variety, we have our own stuff to worry about, to be perfectly honest, so I don't know how much time we really have to get into physiology lessons. Honestly, an ogre shouldn't even care about that type of thing. He's only worried about, like, where he's going to get some more mud, or, like, how he could maybe hang out, you know, hang out in some water all day and maybe scare some passerby. This is going to get bad, isn't it? What's he doing now? This is... Oh, he's just going to do another the same attack. I thought he was going to do something scary. Well, that's fine. Do another one of those. Dodging isn't so bad sometimes. Other times it's bad. This moment, though, seems like things are going fairly well. I mean, if I take one of these hits, I'm pretty much toasted and burnt to a crisp. So, oh, yeah, that was a little scary. A couple more shots. I think we might have it, maybe. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, though. Let's let him do one more attack cycle here. I'm really worried that I'm going to dodge right into one of his axes. Let's do one more and just finish him right then. Alright, no more Dragon Rider. You're done. Your time has come to an end, good sir. You fought valiantly, but Shrek will overcome. Shrek is love, Shrek is life. And Shrek is about to go upstairs and light a bonfire, because that's just what Shrek does. Here we are. Bonfire it up. Not given an F. Living life in the fast lane. So, like, Shrek references and Limp Bizkit are basically what you can expect from this Let's Play. If that's too highbrow for you, I understand. You don't have to necessarily get too involved. So this lady... Oh, and Smash Mouth, of course. We've got to work some Smash Mouth in here. This is the priestly lady. She hangs out up here always. Lycia? I didn't hear what she said, of course, because, like I said, I keep my volume turned all the way down. And she's going to try and get me some miracles. I don't really know what I want to do with miracles, but I know there are some useful ones that I could potentially capitalize on. Increases faith. That could be an easy way to get into the faith category. We've got a heal, we've got a medium heal, we've got a great heal. These are excerpts, right? So do these count as permanent, or are these like consumable faith items? I don't know. Replenishment? What does this one do? This miracle is used by the resolute Lindelt cleric knights when fighting on the front lines. Gradually restores HP. So it's like a soul gem or a health gem. Resplendent life. Great miracle used by a highly ranked cleric slowly restores a large amount. Oh, and this has got 25 faith on it, so this is like a while off. Caressing prayer, an elementary miracle for clerics, purifies the body, removing all poison. So yeah, if I go all in on this stuff, I won't have to worry about items, really, which could be kind of cool. Releases a shockwave that staggers foes. Lightning spear, this is where it's at. If I was going to go faith, this is what I would be into. Launches a spear of lightning, said to be the legacy of an ancient clan whose leader was revered as the god of sun. Yeah, praise the sun all day, every day. Miracle, this is a homeward bone. And guidance helps those who lost their way, reveals them more messages from other worlds. So I guess this is like little hints built into the world. That's neat, I suppose. So that's kind of the end of what this episode is going to be, I have a feeling. The next place we're going to go is down into that area, and things are going to get hairy kind of quick when we get in there. It's not the worst at the beginning, but then with the zone we're going to end up in, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of GTFO is basically what that's going to be about. So we'll find our way down, and hopefully with my soul arrows, I'm going to have a chance here. Just avoiding direct one-on-one combat, I think, is going to make this go a lot smoother. And then the boss at the end of that area, again, is going to be a similar situation where he's kind of going to be up in my face most of the time. But there is a summon, so we might get a chance to see Shrek go full ogre, human ogre form again, which would be nice to see. And of course, we've got to spend the rest of our souls here at some point. To be perfectly honest, this is going much better than I expected it to, barring the fact that I spent most of this episode trying to cheese this boss when I could have just done what I actually did right from the get-go. Despite that fact, I think we're doing alright. I could have just skipped all of that, but I really wanted to see, for the sake of science and Dark Souls fandom, whether or not this was possible to hit him from that distance. And I'm sure with well, maybe I'm not sure, but I imagine with certain types of arrows, with certain types of spells, maybe there is more to be said or done about that concept. But again, he might just be straight up invincible. I don't know. Somebody in the comments will know. Somebody else greater than I will have taken this experiment to the next level. Sunset is quite pretty out there, isn't it? I can never tell if it's dusk or dawn in this world, but it seems to always be perpetually one or the other. But we'll go back to Majula for the next thing, because we've got to spend some souls, maybe upgrade our sorcerer wand again, and we'll ogre it up next time, and we'll see what's going on. So thank you everybody for watching. As always, please do continue to leave your likes and support if you're still enjoying the series. There is a lot more of the Shrek through to come. We are probably like 1/50th through the game at this point, despite having killed a few bosses. There are quite a few bosses in this game, so don't be dissuaded or confused. And we still haven't worn armor yet, so I made it further than I expected it to, or expected to. So this is a handsome man we'll go out with. So thank you again. I will catch you all next time. I hope you have a terrific night. Later.